more interaction.
Okay, more interactions.
Like asking questions during the class,
Okay.
or sort of like making the tables or groups, whatever,
Yeah.
like sort of a problem during class
Yeah.
related to what you're learning right now. That
Yeah.
helps a lot, in my opinion.
She really asked for people's opinion on what to do differently. Like halfway through, she asked, to present some ideas to change the class.
Then just join a professor joining a group. It's like, oh, what do
Yeah.
you guys think? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like they're there, they're present to be able to answer questions.
Understanding that the motivation is there, the want to succeed is there, but because there's so much coming at you at once, it can get discouraging real fast.
I think lectures can get long,
Yeah.
and they can lose my attention quickly sometimes.
Yeah.
But putting interactive, maybe videos or something to catch your eye besides a PowerPoint slide
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really helpful to just regain that focus. I
Yeah.
think students can tell when a professor wants to be there and wants to teach the class and is passionate about
Yeah.
it.
Wow, it was great to be able to see some of those students, give their thoughts on what's going on with the engineering curriculum.
Yeah. So welcome, Ryan. Welcome to Coach's Corner. Can you share with us about first what you teach, and then do you see what the students are saying in the video? Do you see that in your own class?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Ryan Meuth. I teach computer science primarily for the School of Computing and Augmented Intelligence, and I see a lot of this. I really feel it deeply, and seeing students sort of share this sort of candidly is really, really exciting, because as a teacher, I don't get to see what the experience on the student side is so much. I know what it's like standing up in front and behind on the grading side and stuff like that. So a lot of that like personal interaction, that student that was talking about, like you can tell the teachers that actually want to be here. Yeah. That's the one that speaks to me, right? Because the class will reflect whatever energy you bring into it, right? So if you go in and be like, I'm excited to be here, we're going to learn some cool stuff. This is going to help you in your career goals or just in your academic studies and stuff like that. Then that energy is what they reflect back at you, and everybody has a better experience. Making it less about sort of a one, the sage on the stage being a presentation-oriented classroom and things like that. That is also part of that value add.
So what would you say, because time is of the essence, right?
Right.
And there's so much to teach. Like beyond that, what advice would you give to other faculty who are maybe on the edge of potentially or struggling with motivating students? Or how would you recommend getting started for other faculty?
The impression you make on the first day of class is going to set the tone and the energy for the entire rest of the class, right? And I think having that introduction be really like, I am a human person, and this is my life, and this is why I like this topic, and this is why I'm here. And this is why I think you're here.
Yeah.
And then having a little conversation about that as you're covering the syllabus, I think that sets the tone a lot.
Right, and showing that you don't, like that one young lady mentioned, you can tell who doesn't potentially want to be there. So
I want to be here,
Yeah.
right? And I'm trying to communicate that as clearly as I can.
And you mentioned like not wanting to be the sage on the stage, and something you said really important was the idea of breaking up your class and your lecture. So you have that initial introduction, they wrestle with something, there's an activity, and then you kind of structure your class in that way.
Yeah.
And so do you find that helps motivate students?
Absolutely. Because the students want to come to a class where they feel like they are getting something out of it, and sometimes sitting and listening, it doesn't fulfill that need. It's like doing improv. You kind of have to be on your toes a little bit.
Yeah.
There's not a script. To the lecture, you might be relying on those slides to say this is what we're doing next.
There's
but,
no teleprompter.
Yeah, there's no teleprompter. But if you're planning for improv, that gives you room to do it and correct and then move in.
So do you have any final kind of lasting comments in terms of the power of motivation for students, maybe why it's necessary, or just tips for faculty?
It comes back to bringing the energy to the classroom that you want to see in your students, And that is, why am I here, and how can we make this a conversation more than a presentation? And I think that makes a huge difference in engaging students and making them want to come back to your class and participate.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. This is very fun.
And if you have any troubles, you know who to contact, right?
I do.
Thank you for watching the podcast. If you want to learn more or even check out an extended version of the podcast, click on the resources below.